So welcome to our live stream Twitchcast. Maybe I'll call it a Twitchcast. But welcome here. We're glad that you're here. Is this our first for 2019, Joey?
I think you guys did some...
Oh, we did something last week. All right, so this is the second one for 2019. Kicking off 2019 on a good note. So glad that you're all here. I get to now see the chat and see what's going on with the chat. You'll notice in the background, though, we have the 2018. Yeah, over here. I feel like a weather guy. You know, now we have the 1 and we have the 0. And, yeah. Anyway, this is, you've probably seen in the background the 2018 because this week's Twitch or today's live stream is going to be about the best and the worst stocks for 2018 and the power of the VectorVest software to help you to look at those stocks to see why some of them were the best and why some of them were the worst, and we're going to use the power of the software to be able to do that for you. This software has got a lot of power, it's got a lot of flexibility. Built into that inherently is a benefit, especially if you are looking to get into the market. The benefit is there to help you to make better decisions in the stocks that you buy and sell. And it goes right in line with what we're going to talk about today with the best and the worst stocks for 2018. Use the power of the software to see where or why, from a realistic standpoint, why these stocks were so good or why they were so bad. There's a difference between buying a stock or selling a stock just because you hear somebody tell you to do that, right? There's a difference between that and being able to do your own homework to make a more intelligible decision on what stocks you should be buying and selling, all right? And that's where having the VectorVest software comes into place. As I mentioned, my name is Glenn Tompkins. I've been with VectorVest now over 14 years. Actually, in a couple of months, it will be 15 years. How long have you been here, Joey?
17.
Joey is my producer here today. He's been here for 17 years. That in and of itself should tell you a little something about our company, especially if you don't know much about VectorVest. I don't know how many places that you can go to that have employees that have been around that long, all right? I'm not saying that they're not out there, but I think that in this day and age, they're far and few in between. And just us being in the room, 14 years, 17 years, that's a lot of years just between two people. And believe you me, there's a lot of other people who have been here even longer than the both of us. All right, so keeping all of that in mind. 14 years with VectorVest. My job is to teach people, instruct people on how to use the software. I'm very much in line with the simplistic view. The software has got a lot of flexibility. It could be daunting if you first just open it up, but there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of power behind the program. And you'll hear me use those words, power and benefit, a lot, because I think that it's important that you truly understand the amount of power that the software has and the benefit. It can add money to your pocket. Everybody's looking to do that, right? And this is not a fly-by-night scheme. This is not a get-rich-quick overnight. It's none of that. None of that at all. This is tried and true software that's been around over 30 years. That's something else you don't see in this industry, in this financial industry, companies that have been around for as long as we have. If we've been around for that long, folks, we must be doing something right? You got people that have been here in excess of 10 years and still here. That means we must be doing something right? All right, so many of you who are here are not subscribers to the software. That's fine. Many of you that are here are looking to get into the market. These live streams give you a sense of how you can effectively get into the market with a great platform known as VectorVest. Now, I'm going to drink a little bit of coffee, give you guys an opportunity. I love the interaction. All right, that's very important. If you want to interact, tell me that you're here. Tell me where you're from. By all means, do so. And I know I got a lot of people just looking in the background who can't chat with me. By all means, just at least sit back, listen, and I want to interact with you guys as much as I possibly can. So that's a little bit about me. The VectorVest software, as I mentioned, has been around for, oh, there we go. We got some people. We can see, there you go. Can you make this, I'll make the stochastics line brighter. And now, okay, now I can see. Is that live,
I
Joey?
think these are old ones, but
I'm just trying to.
UVXY trader here from Tampa.
All right, there we go. A VIXy trader. So I'm a big fan of being careful with the VIX. I know we've had a lot of VIX. For those of you who don't know, VIX looks at the volatility. Volatility, a lot of up and down within the market, but based on the S&P 500. It's a gauge of if there's any fear in the market or not fear in the market. When the VIX is high, when the volatility in the market is high, the people are investing in the market, but they're scared. And when the volatility is low, there's a lot less fear in the market. Volatility will make a market jump up and down, up and down. It will exacerbate, gotta be careful, the movement of the market. I know, I ain't trying to say no bad stuff. I ain't trying to get banned off of Twitch. All right, so I'm just saying, I'm not gonna even say it again, but it will make the market move up and down a lot more when you have higher volatility. All right, so there we go. And I'm excited to be here. Someone said excited to see you here. I'm excited to be here. All right, so that's a look at who I am. That's a look at what the VectorVest software is all about. And like I said, this week we are going to get involved with some of the best stocks of 2018 and some of the worst stocks of 2018. And we're going to use the power of the VectorVest software to show us why they are. All right, so tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to start off, put me on the color guard real quick, Joey, which is right. I can do it. Yeah, there we go. Real quick, let's just get a good feel of what's going on. I wasn't supposed to do that? Okay. Joey makes sure I do all of the right things. I walk the tightrope in here, and Joey is my safety net. Well, sometimes he might pull the net out and I might fall down, go boom, but he'll pick me up, dust me off, and put me back up. All right, so the home page reads like the front page of your local newspaper. For those of you who are new, this is our newspaper into the market. It gives us a lot of great information as to what's going on so that we can get a feel, before we even dive into the software, we get a feel of what's happening in the market surroundings. Think about that. You know, I always say keep your head focused on what's going on. Well, this newspaper layout helps to keep you focused on what's going on in the market without listening and having your head on the swivel, listening to this guy, listening to that girl, listening to everybody. VectorVest will keep you focused on what's really going on in the market, and that's important. That's important. First, you'll see our market timing gauge right now is got one ticket to the green. This is your needle. This is your market needle. Green is bullish, yellow is neutral, red is bearish. Plain and simple. Yesterday we closed with one green light, one tick into the green light. We're going to look at all of the major indices. All of the major indices were in the green. The Dow up over 1%. The iShares, actually the Russell 2000 led the way up 1.5%. The Russell 2000 happens to be a listing of a lot of the lower dollar stocks. So lower dollar stocks in that index called the IWM up 1.5% yesterday. That's a nice move on it. Going down to our VectorVest composite. What is the VVC? What is the VectorVest composite? It is an indexed arithmetic average of all of the stocks that we currently track. And currently we track 8,080 stocks. So we are tracking the move of over 8,000 stocks in one ticker symbol known as the VVC, or the VectorVest composite. We feel that that is a better representation of broad market movement, because instead of tracking 30 stocks that you found in the Dow, or tracking 500 stocks that you see in the S&P 500, or looking at about 4,000 stocks that you would see in the NASDAQ, we track the move of over 8,000 stocks in one ticker symbol. We track its move on both a week-over-week and day-over-day basis, and because we're tracking the move of 8,000 stocks, we feel that that ticker symbol is a better representation of broad market movement. If you really truly want to know what's really going on in the market, was that loud? If you really want to know what's truly happening in the market, and from a movement perspective, the VectorVest composite is better than anything that you'll have out there. And that's important, because I can look at the Dow and say, oh, it went up. I can look at it, as you can see here, the Russell 2000, and it went up 1.5%. But when I look at the real broad movement of the market by way of the VectorVest composite is up almost 1%. All right, remember the Russell 2000 is really looking at lower dollar stocks. The VectorVest composite is looking at low dollar stocks, medium dollar stocks, high dollar stocks, not just putting all our eggs into one basket by just looking at lower dollar stocks. So, is that my phone? No, it's not. All right, I think my phone's somewhere. I might have lost it. Anyway, I don't know why that was important. It wasn't that important. I just thought I heard something go biz, biz, biz. All right, so as we look, here's our color guard. Our color guard tracks 3 of our market timing indicators. Price, which is the price movement of that VectorVest composite. RT, which is one of our core proprietary indicators known as relative timing. That indicator looks at whether the market's in an uptrend or a downtrend. And the BSR, or buy to sell ratio, looks at the overall health of the market. All right, so now let's start to get into some of these stocks. Joey, can you bring that up for me again?
No,
it's down here. Yeah, that picture. All right, can they see that?
No.
They can't. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a watch list of some stocks. It's going to be a little interesting how I need to do it.
Just put this right here.
Oh, good. I can do it and build it. All right, so I'm going to go to the Viewers tab at the top. We have a Twitch. Can they see this, Joey?
Yep.
All right. We have in our Viewers tab, we have listing of watch lists that we can create. We created a watch list group known as Twitch. And I'm going to put in here the best of 2018 and the worst of 2018. I'm going to start with the best of 2018. I am looking at a listing of stocks from a website that's going to point out some of the best stocks in each of the different indices, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500. So I'm going to add some stocks that are some of the best stocks from the Dow. All right, and I'm just going to type in their ticker symbols followed by a comma. Merck, which is a biomedical company, was at the list. So I'm going to put in MRK, comma, Pfizer, another pharmaceutical company. Nike, everybody knows about Nike. You want to be like Mike? All right, so we all know about Nike. Let's go see. Hello, Stockmaster 2019. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. All right. I need this back. Put it in my... now you can do whatever you need to do again. So let's go to Visa. Visa was one of the best stocks in the Dow. Cisco Systems, computer. All right, was one. United Health Group, UNH, comma, Boeing, which was BA, which is a good company, and it was one of the best companies or best stocks in 2018. I will add a couple more. We're going to add Verizon. I love those new commercials. This guy gets it. He gets it. Is that the Verizon commercial? Or when he takes the popcorn and the little girl says, "How dare you?" Isn't that Verizon? I thought it was Verizon. I think it's Verizon. She goes, "How dare you?" Thought she was going to get up and punch him. But she's a little girl. Anyway, that's not good, bad, or indifferent. McDonald's. We all know about McDonald's. How many of us don't eat at McDonald's? I'm not going to say that I don't. So those are some of the best ones from the Dow. I'm going to go to the worst of 2018. And I'm going to put some of the worst ones from the Dow in here as well. American Express. Remember the commercial? Don't leave home without it. All right, but I'm going to put that in. That didn't do well over the year. Walmart, WMT, comma, Walgreens, WBA. They got bought out, didn't they, over the year? Apple, one of the staples in the market, got downgraded. A lot of things happened with Apple throughout the year, like the name. Welcome. Oh, stock. There you go. Stockmaster 2019 is ready for 2019. Apple, Johnson & Johnson. They make all that stuff. JP Morgan, JPM, comma, Home Depot, comma, Chevron, CVX, comma, let's get one more. Caterpillar. Ooh, Caterpillar didn't do. I'm going to do that. I'll put those in. Let me scroll up. Price change in 2018. So all of these were stocks that went down in 2018 from the S&P 500. Let's look at the best ones. All right, keep in mind that some of these every stock in our database gets a buy, hold, or sell recommendation. The beautiful thing about what we're doing here is we're looking at the stocks. They automatically get sorted by our master indicator, VST. So we're looking at... Can I make what? Can I make these bigger? Yeah, I can. Let's do that. Let's go layout. Let's go make that a little bigger. Make it a little bigger right there. So you're going to make these, is that better, folks? You think that's better, Joey?
A little bit more.
A little bit more?
Yeah.
Just a little bit more. I like that Joey's in the background, keeping me good, keep me honest. Let's go 12. Let's go 14.
Yep, that looks good.
Ah, that looks much good or better. Yes, I said that. That's right. It looks much good or better. So now we get a better view of some of the best stocks of 2018. United Health Group, Visa, Nike. Everybody knows them. Boeing. So the cool thing about this is I'm not putting in stocks that many of you don't know. Whether you're with the market or not, these are names that have come across your daily activity. McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Citigroup, Verizon. How many of you have your mobile service through Verizon? How about now knowing that Verizon was one of the best stocks in the Dow for 2018? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put, can I do this in a graph this way, Joey, or do I need to put the graph?
We'll see.
All right. Let me highlight them all. Let me go view a stock graph. That's a pop-up. They can't see that, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll do it this way. So I've got the watch list made. I'm going to write these down real quick. Actually, I should have put them into a graph. Let's do it this way. UNH, I think I know what to do going forward. V, NKE, Boeing, PFE, MRK, VZC, MCD, KO. Now we're going to look at these graphs. All right, so I'm going to go to graphs. They can see this, right, Joey? All right, UNH, comma, Visa, comma, NKE, comma, Boeing, comma, PFE, comma, MRK, comma, VZ, comma, C, comma, MCD, comma, KO. Now let's look at these graphs. Look at this. Automatically, we're looking, take that crosshair cursor off. Automatically, you're looking at why this is one of the best stocks of 2018. When you're looking at a stock graph, you want to see the price, which is represented by candlesticks here. Right? It's a way of looking at price movement on a stock. As you look at this, we want to see the graph move from the bottom left to the top right in as smooth a pattern as possible. Noticing that for the majority of 2018, look at that nice 45-degree angle moving higher on the stock. Every stock in our database gets a buy, hold, or sell recommendation every day. How about for the majority of the year, the stock has only been a buy or a hold recommendation. Not until the most recent volatility in the market did the stock get hit. And even with that, it's starting to do a little bit of a rebound now. But look at that equity curve. That is not a bad equity curve for a stock to say that it's one of the best stocks for the price movement from the beginning to the end of the year for 2018. Visa, a lot of the same look. A lot of nice move prior to that volatility kicking in. We had somebody in here that had the name of VIXI, and that means they were most likely trading the VIX. This was a great time after October when the market peaked, where the volatility of the market kicked in. And remember, the volatility looks at a lot of the gyrations in the market. The volatility is a lot of the up and down in the market. And volatility can help a market or hurt a market, depending on how it's being used. As a trader, it's going to help me. As a longer-term investor, volatility could hurt me. All right? And even when the stock's price started going down, there was a lot of different ways to manage being able, getting into that stock and staying into that stock for the long term. All right? Let's go look down. I'm going to just quickly look through the graphs. Again, Nike. Overall, nicely still moving higher on a year-over-year basis. This was a tough time in the market. Again, a lot of volatility was kicking in. So let's keep going through the graphs. This one was more even, but Boeing did finish higher on a year-over-year basis. Not as smooth as some of the other graphs, but did finish higher on a year-over-year basis. Man, look at that. Pfizer, that's excellent. That's a sweet-looking graph, and it wasn't nearly as affected by volatility as a lot of the other stocks. Look at that. Another pharmaceutical, Verizon. Just look at these graphs. Now, Citigroup, on the other hand, didn't finish really higher on a year-over-year basis. Probably it should have had it in my other list, more so than in this list. McDonald's finished higher on a year-over-year basis, but most of the time look at how the graphs looked on a year-over-year basis. That's what good stocks look like. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to set up the bad ones for the Dow.
Can you do it in this page right here?
Which one?
You do them in here?
I can, but I need the list again. Okay. I see the ratings as buy, hold, and sells. Sell going back to hold. That's not a bad thing. Now, when I look at the buy, hold, sell ratings, I look at it this way. Worst. I still got to put them into the list.
Right.
All right. So when I get to the next list, I'm gonna do this a little differently. Every stock gets a buy, hold, or sell recommendation. If you own the stock, when the stock gets a sell recommendation, that's probably a time where you want to consider selling the stock. Think about that. All right. And you see a sell recommendation is probably your line in the sand to say, I probably want to take my profits or mitigate my losses. How can you go from a sell to a hold without a buy rating? It all depends on. So let me talk to you how a stock gets a buy, hold, or sell. In order for a stock to get a sell recommendation, one thing needs to happen. Now remember, every stock gets a stop recommendation. That is your line in the sand that says when the stock price goes below that price, it gets a sell recommendation. Notice that the price of Apple is at 150, where the stop price is at 160. As soon as the stock's price falls below the stop price, it automatically gets a sell. Let me back up to how does a stock get a buy recommendation. 4 things need to happen for a stock to get a buy recommendation. 1, the price needs to be above the stop price. Number 1. Number 2, the stock has got to be pulling away from the stop price. Number 3, RT has to be above 1. That looks at the short-term price trend of the stock. Number 4, VST, our master indicator of analyzing stocks, needs to be above 1. So a stock can go from a hold to a sell to a buy to a hold to a sell, all based on those combinations of, is price above the stop? If it's not, it's automatically a sell. Now, how does the stock get a hold? One of the other 4 criteria are not met for the stock to get a buy. Let's look at Home Depot. It is above the stop price. RT is above 1. VST is above 1. Probably what is not happening, not probably, what is not happening is the price is not pulling away fast enough from the stop price to get a buy. All of the other things are in place, but it's not moving away from the stop price fast enough to get a buy. We want to make sure that when you're getting into a stock and it's got a buy recommendations, that it's doing exactly what you want it to do, go up in price. Making sure that it's moving away from the stop price at a specific price point is important. So, Stockmaster 2019, does that make sense? Jay Reedy, or Reddy, good morning to you. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. So, Stockmaster 2019, does that make sense? I hope that it does. All right. UVixie Trader says, I mostly day trade UVixie. It can eat your lunch if you're not careful. It can. The VIX is a very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Volatile. VIXie is very volatile. Anything dealing, especially when we got above the level of 15 in the VIX, that means the market is even more volatile than what it normally is. So yes, it can help. It can hurt you. All right, for the stocks for the worst of the for 2000, there you go. Let me put those into a graph real quick. All right, empty. Let's go build this real quick. Thank you, Joey. Home Depot, AXP, comma WBA, comma CAP, comma JPM, that's JP Morgan, comma Apple, CVX. Man, Joey, you're hitting right. You should be a doctor. J&J, comma WMT. All right, so these were the bad stocks for the year. So again, I'm looking at pretty much, when I say I'm looking at a year, when we default to a graph, we normally start off at about 1 year. Notice that over the year, it did have a nice run, but look at that fall hard towards the end of the year. On a year-over-year basis, we started here and ended a little lower, so it wasn't one of the best stocks, but man, did that stock fall hard. Looking at AXP, American Express, had a nice little back and forth run up, but finished just about even for the year, but starting to bounce back now. You'll see the difference in the graphs on the stocks that did well for the year, a lot more bottom left to top right, where these are now looking more towards the downside or to the flat side. overall, the stock did finish lower on a year-over-year basis. What else? Walgreens, all right? A lot of nice run up until the volatility in the market. Wow, somebody just made me turn a little red. And that's, if you can see me on the screen, that's kind of tough. I can't turn red too often, but wow, I'm blushing. I'm a little blushing. That's M. Bops. I'm not sure who that is, but now I'm a little tongue-tied right now. Woo! All right, getting hot in here. All right, that's all right. But thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Let's go to the next stock. I'm still bubbling a little bit. Caterpillar, look at that. Definitely on the lower end. If I drew lines connecting the highs, the stock did trend lower on the year. All right, next stock. Trended lower, JP Morgan. Look at that. A lot of these stocks really got hurt when the volatility after October kicked in. So you VIXY trader understands this was a great time for them to be trading in the market, but the volatility really affected the market to the downside. Apple, man, look at that. Downgraded. A lot of forward guidance that didn't look so good. They got hurt. Here's another one, CVX. Here's the opening price for the year. Here's the closing price for the year. Not a steady downturn, but nonetheless, a lot more sell recommendations popping up along the way. These sell recommendations can do a good job of keeping you out of these stocks at the right time. All right, Johnson & Johnson still lower on a week-over-week base, year-over-year basis. I would do your stocks if you... Oh, Lord, I'm not getting into that. Oh, Lord. I'm going to keep on moving. Y'all going to get me in all kinds of trouble in here. And the last one we're going to look at is Walmart. Still lower on a year-over-year basis. It had a hard time throughout the year really catching fire. It did in the summer months and then fell hard again in October and November. But still lower on a year-over-year basis. All right, so now let me stop real quick to take some questions because I'm going to get us set up for some stocks in the S&P 500. Not a whole lot in there, but I got you. I got you covered. Any questions? Wow. Whatever. Stop messing with me, MPB. No, whatever. Anybody got any questions? This is the beautiful thing about being live is that I can get caught out there on the right with the chat. That's all right. I'm all right with that because I can improvisate. Okay. Well, I guess that somebody was messing with me. Maybe that's what it was. Okay. I don't know. Any questions at all? Any questions at all? Because if not, I'm going to move on to the next one. And somebody's probably helping me out there in the background. I don't know if they were messing with me or if they were, whatever it is. But now I know going forward. All right. That was a new thing. All right, so now let's get into some of the best and worst for the S&P 500. All right, so get me back to I'll go back to the graphs. I'm going to do a little differently. Bring up that one for me. Bring up the my list. There we go. So the S&P 500, some of the best stocks in the S&P 500. Let's take a look at those. AMD, computer chip company, right? We'll put that. So I'm going to build the stock graphs from my list. It's going to make life a little easier. A Biomed, that is a pharmaceutical company out of the S&P 500, ABMD. Fortinet. No, that's not Fortnite. I'm on Twitch. I'm sure there's a lot of places where you go to get Fortnite, but this is Fortinet. FTNT, comma. I've got a question. How do you look at overall market direction via the color guard? Stockmaster 2019, I got you. I'm going to get you squared away. Advanced Auto Parts, AAP, comma, Chipotle. Wow. Got a lot of, whatever it is. What is that? Chipotle's make burritos. I could get a lot of the burritos. Red Hat. Let's go. Red Hat, RHT. O'Reilly, another auto parts store. Looks like auto parts. You know why that is? Think about that. You look at auto parts stores like Advanced Auto and O'Reilly. Why did they do so well this year? How about less people are buying new cars? That makes sense, right? Less people are buying new cars. So what are they doing? They are maintaining and upkeeping their existing cars. So that makes sense that Advanced Auto and that O'Reilly's would have done well this year. A lot of people buying a lot of car parts. So that's not a bad thing. And I think that's all I'm going to put in. So these are the good stocks for the year for the S&P 500. All right.
I forget about this guy.
Oh, he went away. I got him. The overall market direction via the color guard. Let's do this. When I'm looking at the home page, all right, and I'm looking at the color guard, I want to let you know, Stockmaster 2019, use that like your traffic light into the market. What's the main color you see in that color guard? You don't have to answer. I'm going to answer it for you. A lot more yellow. All right, I see a lot of yellow. But looking at this trend column, we track 2 trends in the market for you every day. The primary wave, which is the fastest indicator we have in the system, is up. So we've got some bullishness coming in. We've got green lights in the color guard pricing column. That's still more bullishness coming in. The MTI, which looks at the combination of the price, the RT, and the buy-to-sell ratio, and is also known as the underlying trend of the market, is very close to that value of 1. So to answer your question, if I am looking at wanting to get or move from when the market was bearish to when the market's starting to get bullish, 4 ways to get back into the market by way of the color guard, Stockmaster 2019. 1, if you're an aggressive trader, you look for the primary wave to come up in the trend column, the first 2 letters. When that happens, as the more aggressive trader, I can jump on the market to the bullish side. If I need more confirmation, I'm a little bit more prudent, I wait for a green light in the color guard pricing column. If I'm still even looking for more confirmation, I move over and wait for the MTI to get above the value of 1. And if I'm super duper conservative, I go to the call column and I wait to watch and see when we get from a confirmed down to a confirmed up. Does that make sense? So this color guard can get anybody into the market at the right time depending on how aggressive or how conservative you are. Once again, the primary wave, if you're more aggressive, you start playing the market when you get an up call. If you need more confirmation, wait for the green light. If you still need more confirmation, wait for the MTI. So there are some people right now, the aggressive person is in the market now. The prudent person is starting to get into the market. The semi-less prudent person, more going towards conservative, but maybe call it progressive. Call that. The progressive person is waiting for the MTI to go above the value of 1. And if you're more conservative, you're waiting for the confirmed up call. So Stockmaster 2019, does that answer your question? This color guard can get you in and out of the market by way of looking at those 4 things. Those 4 things are very crucial in getting you in no matter whether the market is bullish or bearish or when it's transitioning between the 2. All right? Let's go back to the graphs. So these, again, were some of the best stocks of 2019. And that was really a great question. And hopefully I made sense of answering that question for you. How do we know we are in a bear market or a bull market or all these short-term trends? Good question again. The reason why you know when we're in a bear market or a bull market is based on earnings. Earnings overall. Earnings overall, still going into the end of 2018, companies were still making money. We have an indicator called the earnings trend indicator, which I will save for another live webcast, stream, all right, where we can tell you when the market is in a bull or a bear market. But right now, we are still in a bull market because our earnings trend indicator is still above our value of 1. That earnings trend indicator is only found in VectorVest. So if you truly want to know, Stockmaster 2019, when the market is really in a bull or in a bear market without having to guess, having the software is going to always have that information for you no matter when you want it, all the time. And currently, even right now, we are still in a bull market. And even through the capitulation of the moving down to the downside with all of the volatility in 2018, going into the end of 2018, we were still in a bull market. All right? So hopefully that answers that question as well. AMD did move higher on, and look at that rebound now after the volatility kicked in, and now AMD is starting to get back on its horse and keep on moving right now. Giddy up, rawhide, get AMD running. All right, ABMD, nice run throughout the beginning of the year. Look at that, beautiful. Had some trouble in the summer, fell during October, but starting to do a rebound, but still higher on a year-over-year basis. All right, on right now, so it's still one of the best in the S&P. What am I in? Am I still in the Dow? No, I'm in the S&P. In the S&P. All right, look at that. Look at that equity curve. This now you can see why it's got a lot of sell recommendations now after the market got beaten up. But look at the equity curves over the year. In a tough year, these are companies that made money in a tough year. Advanced Auto, look at that. CMG, Chipotle. I don't know how many burritos you need to eat for a company to have a stock price of $496. It is a fast food company. Man, you know what else is hit big like that? Steak and Shake. It's a fast food company with such high dollar prices in the stock price. Almost $500 for Chipotle. Good Gordon Gin. That's a lot of money. All right? That's a lot of burritos. All right, but now definitely moving higher on a year-over-year basis. My next one, Trip, Red Hat. Woo! Red Hat got beat, but something happened in November, which now it was getting beat and it was down for the year back in November, but something happened with Red Hat and now made it a winner for the year. Ideally, this is not one of the best stocks that I would say we would love to have you in, but the numbers showed that it did finish high on a year-over-year basis, but that's not so pretty. Not at all. That's a big move on a one-day move. Man, that's huge. O'Reilly, look at that. And even when we had the volatility in the market, it pretty much held its own. It pretty much held its own, so that's not bad either. All right, let's go take a look at some of the bad stocks in the S&P 500 for the year. Oh no, I did it right. Let's scroll down, just making sure I'm right. Cody. Or Cootie. I don't know. I ain't got the cooties. Cody? I'm not sure what that is, but it's one of the worst ones. Mohawk, MHK, General Electric. Remember the commercial? GE, we bring good things to living. We bring good things to life. That was all. I just showed my age. Just like I remember chock full of nuts is that heavenly coffee. Old commercials that I love that will never leave my head. But GE was one of the last original Dow stocks that got taken off the Dow because they gotten beaten up so much. GE didn't have a good year. What else do I want to put on? Western Digital, another digital or chip company. Western Digital, actually they're more so for storage, computer storage. Glad I had glasses on. I'm going to poke my eye out with a spoon. What else is here? I don't know about all of these companies that we know them all, but I'm going to take a look at them anyway. AMG, XEC. All right, so these were some of the bad companies. Woo! Look at that. Bada boom, bada no ching. That's no ching. That's no good. No bueno. Bad over the year. It had a sell recommendation for the majority of the year. Definitely moved down. This is why this was one of the worst stocks in the S&P 500. Same thing with Mohawk. Building products, miscellaneous. Man, oh man, a lot of just steady diet of downward moviosity. Yes, that's a Glenism. Downward moviosity. Let's go to the next one. GE, a staple in our society for a lot of years, but man, look at that move to the downside. Sometimes you say to yourself, I want to look at this on a 5-year graph. What was the price way back when? A high of $33 back in 2016. Where is it at now? $8.54. That's a big fall in price over what? That's almost 3 years now. Well, we're coming up on 3 years. So GE was one of the worst stocks in the S&P. Western Digital, memory devices, bad. They weren't able to hold on to memory. They lost their memory. Well, not always. But it's down to $40. I have a high here early in the year. Early in the year of 2018, it was at $106. And look at that pullback towards the end of the year at $40. Now you can see why that's one of the worst stocks of 2018. Newfield, petroleum, got beat up. Look at that. Trying to make a rebound now, but over the year, gotten beaten up. AMG, financial management. Financially, they didn't manage jack because they went down, down, down. That was not a good year for them. But it's still a $100 stock. Earlier in the year, they were at $216. And now they are at 103. All right, so that's big. And that's why you can see by way of these graphs why these are some of the worst stocks within the S&P 500 over the last year. So now, we've looked at some of the best stocks for the 2018 for the Dow and the S&P, and some of the worst for the Dow and for the S&P. Any questions? Let's go ask that. Any questions? I should be getting ready. Right, I'm on time on my itinerary. Good going, Jen. Any questions? This is a good time to, I've got some good questions that came up. I'm glad that you were able to put those up. Keep putting them up. I love the interaction. And I wish that some of the people who are looking in the background, I wish that you could talk. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts would tell. So I'm looking, I can't read your minds, so I can only talk to the people who are here that can talk to me. All right, so as you can tell, I look at a lot of TV and I love a lot of music. So, all right, I don't see any questions. I don't see any questions. Going once, going twice, 3 times. Let's get into the last one. And this one is probably going to be looking at the NASDAQ. Which one? This is the NASDAQ. Yeah, I'll do the NASDAQ. All right, so let's go create a new listing of stocks to take a look at. The best of the NASDAQ for 2018. All right, AMD. So you'll find that a lot of these stocks are cross-listed between indexes. Apple will be on the Dow as well as in the NASDAQ. AMD, we saw that was already in the Dow. It's also cross-listed in the NASDAQ. So some of the bigger companies will be cross-listed throughout and I'm only looking at the top 3 major indexes, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. I could also look at the small cap 400 or 600. I could look at the Russell 2000. There's a lot of other indexes that I can look at, but with the time frame that we have here for about an hour's worth of stream, I decided to look at 3 of the top indexes, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500. We've already done the Dow and the S&P 500. Now we're stepping out into the NASDAQ. So another stock, again, that was cross-listed, AMD. We already took a look at it, but I'm going to look at that again. Workday Inc., WDAY, comma, Lululemon. How many of you, that's some athletic wear. How many of you have Lululemon? Well, it's not like you can all raise your hand and I can see you. I can only talk up to the people who can talk to me. But Lululemon is a big company, big on clothing. All right? That was, would you not consider that why that would have been one of the top companies that were that made money in 2018? All right, Lululemon, comma, O'Reilly, we already looked like, so I'm not going to put that up again, even though I put AMD up. Netflix. Oh, how many of you watched Bird Box? I did. I watched it. It was an interesting movie. But Netflix, a winner for the year. 21st Century Fox. Fox A. The movie company. Competing with Disney and other likes of the same. But they made money for the year. Intuitive Surgical. Man, a great company. ISRG. Robotic surgery. And they've been around for a while. And it seems like every year they continue to make money. They are not a cheap stock, but they continue to make money in advances in robotic surgery. It's a great company. Adobe, ADBE, made the list. And VeriSign, comma, VRSN. Let's take a look at these stocks. So now we're looking at stocks from the NASDAQ. All right, the top NASDAQ 100. Not even the NASDAQ 100. AMD made money over the year. Not a ton, but overall, look at that nice run until October hit. It got hit. And now, after the volatility of the market has settled in, how about it starting to really rock and roll now? So even the companies that were good for the year, that gotten beaten up, how about they're still showing signs that there's still life in them and that they can continue to move higher to take out the highs and keep moving up? How about we're putting into your hands some of the stocks that are rebounding now that you can take advantage of? And you know something? If you can recapture this high as you buy now, buy low, sell high, you might be a happy individual. We could be at least putting into your hands some stocks that you may not even know you should get into. How about that? Just think about it. If you, why did the volume do? Did I do that? Did you do that? I don't know. Did you see the volume do that? Anyway, how about some of you who are on the fence? If you just look at some of these stocks and if they made you some money, I think that would knock you to our side of the fence so fast it'll make your head swim. Think about that. All right, so we're giving you some stock. Wow. WDAY, overall up for the year. Look at that. A lot of choppiness in the market, but overall had the wherewithal to continue to move higher for the year, even going into 2019. Lululemon, man, summer athletic wear did great. Got affected by the volatility in the market in October going into the end of the year. But what is it doing now? A lot of these stocks that we're looking at now that were the best in 2018 are still showing signs of life and still moving higher. Folks, these are some stocks that you definitely might want to take a look at going into 2019. Netflix, man, look at it really starting to run now. It had a nice run going into the summer. October hurt it as well, but look at that rampant run right now. That is a strong run coming off of what appears to be a bottom for it. Man, if I could ride this back up to the highs, I think you'd be a very happy individual. All right, so we're still, wow. Fox, 21st Century Fox, look at that. Whoa. Even in October, it held its own. And prior to all of the other stocks moving, how about they moved first, rebounded, and now I have a level of resistance that I would like to see it take out. But look at that equity curve. You can see why these stocks were considered to be some of the best stocks in 2018. Intuitive Surgical, still moving higher, still finished higher year over year. Had some a lot of the stocks are still showing the same characteristics of being hurt back in the high volatility phase. Adobe moving higher. VeriSign moving higher. Now, let's go build one more. Looking at the worst of the NASDAQ. Let's go JD.com. JD. I don't know who you are. JD.com. Let's see if I can find Kraft, the Heinz company. Oh, the same people who own the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? No, or who owns
Heinz? Pittsburgh? Yeah.
Is it Pittsburgh? Who owns
Patriots.
It's the Patriots. Yeah, Kraft. That's right. So the Kraft company, Heinz company, you remember the commercial for Heinz ketchup? It's slow good. Anticipation. I'm bringing back memories for a lot. I'm bringing about memories for a lot of people in this room. Wynn Resorts, the hotel line, YWNN, wasn't one of the best companies in the NASDAQ. Liberty Global, is that the Liberty commercial? Liberty. I wonder, LBTYA, Liberty Global. I think it is the insurance company. Celgene, all right, that is another pharmaceutical. American Airlines. Airline company that didn't do well. And how about Applied Materials, AMAT? All right, so these were some of the worst companies in the NASDAQ 100. And again, look at the graphs. So I'm a big believer, no matter what you hear from any website, from any person, from any television, from any mailed paraphernalia about stock markets, hopefully you're seeing the power of being able to understand why these stocks were considered to be some of the best or some of the worst companies in the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow. Look at their graphs. The graphs tell a story. A graph is worth a picture is worth 1,000 words. What you see is what you get. And all of these that I looked at, man, that's got a big run now, but look at Celgene. It got beat. It got beat and got beat up bad. And American Airlines, just look at these graphs. Just look at these graphs. And that's why this presentation, looking at some of the best and the worst stocks in the major indices, is important. All right, and getting a feel. But now you're getting a feel of some of those that you may want to think about taking advantage of. Not only were we able to give you good content here today, we actually gave you some good insight on some of the best stocks that got beat up that are starting to rebound now. Hopefully you took advantage of that. That was free stock information that you could have gotten to help you. So I actually I was nervous to see if I could fit this all in. And thank you, Daniel, for getting the itinerary ready for me, and it was able to keep me right in line with where I needed to be, and I pretty much finished right where I needed to be. That was awesome. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? This is your time. Even if you don't have any questions, if you like the content, what you saw today, by all means, follow us. Follow us on Twitch. Follow our stream. If you know people who are interested in the market, get them to follow our stream. We are going to make this, not try, we are going to make this community grow. And that's only going to happen with you guys. If you like what I've shown here, follow us, folks. Follow us. Get other people to follow us. I think we're up to, I don't know how many followers right now. 62 followers. All right, for us, from what I know, that's a good thing. All right, and I want it to be even gooder. And that's only going to happen with you. Do me a favor, Joey. Can you put me on the Money Making Minute? This is one of the things, this is a little segment that I like to use towards the end of the platform. Especially talking to people who may be on the fence. People who may just be, you know, what I like to call the backseat Baptists, sitting in the background, not able to talk. But if you're just wondering about whether or not you should try the software. One, answer these questions to yourself. Do you like the presentations that you see? 1. 2, can this help me? 3, am I willing to invest in myself to try a program that's been around for as long as it has? Okay, just think about that. If you like the presentation, if nothing else, as I mentioned, follow the stream. Okay, if you think that this can be helpful to you, my suggestion is to take out a trial. That's the third one, which is the investing in yourself. The trial is $9.95 for 30 days. $9.95 for 30 days. Less than $10 by about 5 cents. By exactly 5 cents, actually. All right? Try it. If you don't like it, there's a money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, we'll not only give you back your $9.95, you can call and cancel, and that'll be that. For $9.95 for what you see here, as far as these presentations are concerned, why not try it? If you're sitting on the fence, come on in. The water's fine. Try it. That's all you can do. All you can do is try it, and if you like it, you'll keep it. If you don't, you don't have to. We will not high pressure sales you into keeping it. All right? Think about that. I enjoy doing these presentations. If I can help anybody in this room make a life-changing decision, and it can be a life-changing decision, let me talk to you a little bit about my own personal experience here. I've been with VectorVest now for 14 years, getting ready to push 15 years. A couple of years into owning or being part of VectorVest, there used to be a time where VectorVest would give you a check. They believed in us that much that if we stayed here for a year, they would give us a check to go invest in the market. That's commitment, folks. That's commitment on a company, and that's why Joey and I have been here in excess of 10 years. All right? We would take that money and invest it in the market. I took some of that money, and I turned $1,000 of money into over $90,000 in 8 years. It took me 8 years to do it. But I turned $1,000 into over $90,000. Why is that so important? Because at that time, my child was going to school towards the latter part of that 8 years. I was able to pay for her to go to school for a year and a half without any money out of her own pocket. I paid for her. So for a year and a half, she went to school. And why did she only go for a year and a half? Because she followed in her daddy's footsteps. She joined the military. She's in the Air Force. I'm a former Marine. Whether she stayed in school or went to the military, either way, I'm proud of my daughter nonetheless. But I'm even more proud that I was able to put myself in a position where she went to an out-of-state college that cost me a lot of money every year, but I was able to pay for it, and that's because of VectorVest. So anybody who's sitting on the fence, what I just told you is a real, live, true story. Many people who have heard me tell that story time and time again because it is a testimony to how well this software works if you learn how to use it. Anybody who's sitting on the fence, come on over. The water's fine. Try a trial, $9.95 for 30 days. Still, if you need more, then by all means, continue to come to these streams. Continue coming to these streams. All right? But anybody who's really ready to learn about how to use the market, this is the time to do it. And that's why I want to call this my Money Making Minute. I want to give you an opportunity to change your lives. I want to give you an opportunity to bring in another income. Let me tell you something else. I'm about to turn 52, I think. 52? Later this year in March. Okay? My goal was VectorVest set me up so that I could retire at the age of 50. And that was my goal, was to retire at the age of 50. I love doing this way too much to retire. And until I lose that fire that I have for this software, I'm going to stay here. All right? I'm going to stay here. I love being able to talk to you guys. I love being able to hear, wow, what you showed me really makes sense and I'm able to make money. That's what it's all about. And that's why this is the Money Making Minute. And just to let you know, we have 3 streams next week. Friday is a special stream. Oh, what's that, Joey? What's special about it? Oh, I got to wait? All right, so Joey was telling me it's going to be special, but I don't even know what the special is yet. So we'll find out. We have something else, Joey. 5 strategies to make your short-term trades profitable. That's our special that we're running right now. We have the Moolah. Moolah can help you with that. Just click on Moolah. And I think that's everything. All right, so there we go. Thank you for being here for this week's stream. Hopefully you've taken some information away from some of the best stocks of 2018 in the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, and some of the worst stocks of 2018 for the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. Folks, we are all about being able to help you to make money. And there's a link in there. Moolah just put in there the 5 strategies to make your short-term trades profitable. Click on that link. Click on that link. That's a special that we're giving just because you were here for our Twitch today. Our stream. I'm trying to get the nomenclature right, Daniel. I'm working on it. All right. To get the link to the report, just click on that link. All right. Click on it to get that link. All right. With that, do I have any questions before I sign off? I'm going to drink some more coffee. I got to get ready for another webcast at 10:30. I do a lot of webcasts, by the way. That's why I love doing this stuff. For those of you who can't talk, but you're sitting in the background, again, follow us, folks. That's important. We want to make this grow. All right, we want to make this grow, and that you're the only way to make that grow. All right, with that, folks, I'm going to sign off with adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara.
Faster, smarter, better trades? You're just one tap away with the VectorVest mobile app. Just create a watch list of stocks. With one tap, VectorVest automatically rates them for value, safety, and timing, marks them buy, sell, or hold, and ranks the list from best to worst. Just one tap. The all-new VectorVest mobile app. Free for 2 weeks. VectorVest. Clear direction in the palm of your hand.